Just seconds away from getting this new season started. Mississippi Valley State in green, LSU in white. Tigers will start Baker and Reed and Wright and Williams and Stewart. It'll be Brown, Ume, Gibson, Hamilton, and Washington for Mississippi Valley. A lot of questions to be answered here, Victor, as this team looks to rebound from what was a very poor SEC schedule last year for the Tigers. And, of course, they did quite well in pre-conference play, but then things came apart after winning that first game against Arkansas.
And as we just talked about, there are some carryovers from 1 year ago, but last year, Coach McMahon was trying to get through all of the cloudiness surrounding the program. As I mentioned, 0 players when he got here. Now they feel like they're building a team. They're very happy with the roster that they put together because they went and targeted the players they want for this system. We'll get to see how they debut it tonight.
And a couple of points he made earlier today to us. He thought post-play would be better for LSU and much deeper in terms of size and experience. He also thought this year's version of the Tigers would be more potent offensively.
They certainly were playing at a high pace in the shoot-around this afternoon, getting ready for tonight's season debut. Up and down the floor, it was a non-stop, action-packed 1 hour and 10 minutes. But they're very high on the way this team has played so far in their exhibition game and the way they've done it in camp really before tonight's start.
LSU putting some players on the floor and a shot clock violation as LSU digging in defensively forces an early turnover on the shot clock violation. Speaking of the clock, when it gets down to 5 seconds on the shot clock, there'll now be tenths of a second indicated as well. Stewart and Williams and Wright and Baker and Reed in the starting lineup, and a 3-ball is up and in.
Player we just focused on with the starting lineup, the true freshman getting the first bucket of the season.
Mike Williams, a 6'3" freshman from Baltimore, and as you mentioned earlier, 7 consecutive years now in which there's been a freshman in the starting lineup to open the year. LSU digging in defensively again. Shot clock expiring, and a late shot, good for 2, is tossed home by Ume.
Able to bail out the Delta Devils there on that one. Turn around with the shot clock at 1. Gets it to go in.
Williams from straight away. It doesn't go. The rebound pulled off by Walter Hamilton, a 6'8" senior from Potts Camp, Mississippi. Tigers take it away. Williams on the move. Gets it to Reed. Bounce pass down low. This is Baker working. Uses a left hand and draws the foul.
Some of that size you were talking about in Will Baker, a 7-foot forward out of Austin, Texas. He played at Nevada. Look at him. Pace gets down on the floor, just one-on-one. He's got more size on that one to get the advantage into the lane where he draws the foul. 20 games in double digits 1 year ago. 56% field goal. That was the 8th best in Nevada history. One of the big pickups that Coach McMahon was able to get in the transfer portal, bringing some experience to this team as well.
He actually started his career at Texas before transferring to Nevada. Baker has range, too. He's a guy who can back up even at 7 feet and take three-point shots. LSU leading in the early going on a 3-ball and a couple of free throws. This is Brown. Swings it left side. Ume down into the paint. Ball taken away. Stripped cleanly as Wright took it away. He almost threw it away trying to start the break, but it'll go back to LSU. There's George Ivory in his 15th season as Mississippi Valley head coach. 132 wins and almost 300 losses. He was a very fine player at that school. A SWAC Hall of Famer, in fact, and a 50% three-point shooter, if you can believe that, and also one of the leaders in assists. Jalen Reed works his way inside, the 6'10" sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi, who had 11 starts at LSU last year. Tigers force another turnover with backcourt pressure. Donovan Sanders checks into the lineup for Mississippi Valley. There's Matt McMahon. Much more comfortable this year, Victor, and in effect, he's starting over for the second straight year.
He even said in an interview earlier before the season really got underway, he felt like this was year one. Getting to Baton Rouge late, trying to put together a roster that had no players, going to the portal to find bodies to get here. They did what they could do at the best that they could do it, but now they had a chance to plan out for the season, recruit, target the recruits they wanted to get, got some experience in the portal, 2 signees, early signing periods come out on Wednesday. Reports are LSU has 2 very good ones that will sign, so now he feels like this really is year one, getting to start from scratch.
Mississippi Valley with the basketball. This is Ume, swings it to the other side. 6 on the shot clock. Pull-up jump shot from the lefty. Donovan Sanders won't go. LSU in white brings it into front court. This is Williams. Williams, the freshman from Baltimore. He's at the point, kicks it left side. Nice pass down in for the flush. Jalen Reed to Will Baker.
Great job by the Tigers passing it around the horn. Then they go towards the baseline, feed up to the free throw line. They get the defense to move up, and the easy bounce pass for the dunk.
9-2, LSU off to a 7-point lead, and the Tigers will make their first substitutions.
Go back and take a look. You see on the wing, they go to the top. The defense, everybody looking at the ball, and they forget about big number 9. It's hard to forget about him at 7 feet, but a nice job of just posting up. Great look, easy pass. He knows what to do with him. He's that close.
Tyrell Ward and Derek Fountain will check in for LSU. Reginald Reynolds at the free throw line out of Sparta, Georgia. Have you ever been to Itabena, Mississippi? It's in the Delta, about 3.5 hours from here.
Actually, back in early TV days, I was there covering SWAC basketball. And the Southern Jags were up there playing. I can check that off the list.
That entry pass didn't get to the target, easily stolen by Mississippi Valley. Tigers try to double up, and a good shot down low using the window. That one pumped home by Brown. That's his first bucket. Stewart wants it at the top. He'll pull up and take the high arching 3. Nothing but twine. Carlos Stewart, a 3-ball, the junior from Baton Rouge. In fact, Victor, a couple of players on this roster coming home, so to speak.
Absolutely. Carlos Stewart and Jordan Wright both played for the Tigers at the Dunham School. Led Dunham to state championships. Carlos Stewart was the number 2 recruit in the state by ESPN when he was leaving Baton Rouge.
Another bucket by Brown. 12-7, LSU by 5. Wright feeds it in the corner for Fountain. They go left side, 3-ball up, 3-ball in. Tyrell Ward out of Washington, D.C., the 6'6 sophomore, bangs home a deep one. LSU by 8. 14:45 to go, first half.
5 made field goals for the Tigers. 3 of the 5 are from three-point land.
That fadeaway jumper from the free throw line by Brown misses left. Tigers lope into front court. Ward feeds a teammate for a 3-ball right side. It rims out. Ball is on the floor, picked up by Wright, the shooter. He'll back up, gives it to Ward. They go to the other wing now. Ward wants it back at the top. Instead, they go inside. Baker is fouled on his way down the left side of the lane.
Jordan Wright did a nice job of keeping that possession alive when he missed the shot, got the offensive rebound. Tigers swing it around, and Baker's able to get it on the inside and draw the foul. First time out of the first half, 14-19 to go at the Maravich Assembly Center. LSU up 15-7.
Austin, Texas. He's a 52% field goal shooter throughout his career.
We had a chance to talk to Coach McMahon this afternoon after shoot-around. I know you asked him, if Baker steps out, do you think teams are going to guard him? And he said, well, I hope so, because if nothing else, it's going to empty the lane. But, if teams are questioning whether or not he's going to hit it, it'll be 2 or 3 that he'll put in before they realize he's a good shooter.
There aren't a lot of left-handed 7-footers going around, are there?
Nice follow through, too. Good shooting form.
He's got 6 to lead everybody. And he will lead the game right now.
56% from the floor last year when he was at Nevada, 84% from the free throw line. So, you know, the guy with that size attacking the rim, he's going to get fouled. He did a really good job converting at the line.
Collins has entered the game, a 6'9 junior from Atlanta, Texas, who transferred to LSU from Kentucky. And the Tigers will get it back. A 10-point lead for LSU. We are 6 minutes into the first half.
Good to see a healthy Milwaukee Wilkinson into the lineup for the first time tonight.
We watched him for an hour take three-point shots in the shoot-around session this afternoon, and I don't think he missed but about 2. Williams spinning his way close. There's Collins, and the little jump hook in the lane is good.
How about that elevation, too, by Collins? Great job by Collins, a 6'9 transfer who played at Kentucky out of Atlanta, Texas. Boy, the elevation he had on that shot by the rim. Oof.
LSU by 12. 13 and a half to go. This is Ward on the outside. Ward sneaking his way, pushes up the short jumper, gets it back, scores, and is fouled. Tyrell Ward, a 6'6 sophomore from the nation's capital, able to score on the second chance.
Great jump stop there, but watch how he keeps his eyes on it with the focus, hits the air, and then doesn't even worry about bringing it back down. Just elevates, right back up and in, gets hit on the wrist, chance for a three-point play.
Do you give him an assist on that?
No, because I don't think he's trying to pad the stats right now. He was just wanting to go out and get it.
He did get the rebound, though. 21-7. LSU leading, as expected in the first half, against Mississippi Valley, a team which really has fallen on hard times in recent years. They won 5 games last year and have not had a good season in a while.
Well, that's why they brought that man in right there, George Ivory. 13 seasons at Arkansas Pine Bluff. He helped turn that program around.
He did.
Finished 4th one year in the SWAC, and then on a season when I think they started 0-11, they finished the season 18-5, went all the way to the tournament and won a play-in game.
Here's a 3 ball. May have been tipped on the way up. The outlet pass is intercepted. Mississippi Valley trying to convert. Shot at the rim will not go for Brown. He had a point-blank range look. Tigers running on the other end. It's getting helter-skelter. One-on-one contact, and the shot is up and good. Donovan Sanders survived the contact and was able to muscle it in.
Well, LSU had a couple of opportunities there on that possession just to hold it, slow things down a little bit to keep possession. But as you mentioned, got a little ragtag there on the floor, and Sanders was able to take advantage for Mississippi Valley.
Williams, the freshman point guard, directing traffic, gets a pick, gets to the free throw line, launches one, it's too strong. Rebound tipped around and eventually stolen by Ward as it bounces deep. Ward will take the 3 from distance, and he is fouled. There'll be 3 free throws coming.
He hit his only other 3-point attempt earlier. That time getting fouled, what you don't want to do as a defender, especially when he's this far behind the line, a good 3 feet back, but you can see Sanders jumping towards him instead of straight up vertically. Momentum just took him into him.
So Ward will be at the line for a while.
He had 15 attempts at the line last year, 10 of 15, 67%.
He's got 6 points to match Baker. Now he is the team leader in scoring early in this first half. Jalen Reed comes back in. Fountain goes to the bench. And Stewart returns to the lineup as well, Carlos Stewart. And Ward converts all 3 free throws. LSU will apply some pressure in backcourt now. Sanders retreats, pounds his chest, calling out a play. 7 to shoot. 4 to shoot. 2 to shoot. air ball and a shot clock violation. And the Tigers were digging in defensively, and Mississippi Valley never got into an offensive flow that time. We took a timeout right here. 11:31 to go first half. LSU, as expected, leading 24.
With so many officials and so many games being played basically every night of the week, the job that he did and how much he meant to these officials. And very nice for them to share that story that they were wearing that bracelet for him.
So we return to play. LSU leading 24-9 in the first half here in Baton Rouge. Game number 1. Tigers will be back in action on Friday against Nichols. And a foul called as LSU was approaching the rim with gusto. Jalen Reed was cut off.
You see how he takes this step. Quick turn, power step up to dunk. Something I noticed this afternoon, and Lynn was telling you this about it while we were watching. When they were doing their drills, how many times they were finishing with dunks. And you might think, well, it's easy. There's nobody on the floor, and they're just running. But when you do it over and over, it gets you in that mindset as when you see an avenue like that, you take it, you go right to the rim.
LSU has been good from the free throw line for the most part. By the way, let's get you updated on a women's score. LSU and Colorado doing battle in Las Vegas on the women's side of things. And the defending national champions are trailing at halftime after giving up 24 points in the second quarter. And it's now 38-32. Colorado at halftime leads the LSU Tigers.
You wear quite the bullseye when you bring home the hardware like LSU did 1 year ago. Big matchup to start the season for them. 2 more quarters to play.
LSU led 16-14 in a close first quarter, but then gave up 24 second quarter points and trails by 6 at the break. Here on the men's side, it's a 15-point lead. Pull-up jump shot, right side elbow, and that rolls over the backboard. Now, the top of the backboard is still in play, but once it rolls behind it, it is out of bounds. LSU 26, Mississippi Valley's Delta Devils 11.
One thing Matt McMahon would like to see, 6 assists on 7 made field goals for LSU so far.
That's good stuff. Stewart hands it off. This is Wright. He'll back up, tries to make the entry pass, and there's a sumo wrestling match going on down low.
Well, that's 5'11" Donovan Sanders, who's trying to hold his part on 7-foot Will Baker. Thus the struggle. Baker had him posted up. He was doing everything he could with Sanders to try to get around and get some sort of post position, knowing that if Baker got it, he was going to dunk on him. They basically wrestled each other to the ground.
Reed will take the 3 from straight away and misses, but the air ball winds up in the hands of Mwani Wilkinson. Baker backing in, uses the left hand and is able to power it in.
Oh, and that's the word, power. He just backed his way on that one. Close enough where he just take one dribble, just uses his strength and his size to back his way in close to the basket.
8 points for Will Baker.
Take a look again as he gets the entry pass with Jordan Wright. One dribble, power move, then it just elevates. Here it is again from underneath the basket. He's just going to spin. One dribble, one big power move. He backs the defender up, and he's got good elevation where he could just get on top of everybody and put it in from about 4 feet away.
And a strategically placed elbow as well to create a little space.
Once the whistle's blown, it's a good play, right?
Yep. Nice spin move with the left hand. That was beautifully done by Rico Gibson. Gibson actually changed jersey numbers before the game. He's now 23, but he normally wears number 2. LSU will reinsert Mike Williams, the freshman guard from Baltimore, at the next whistle. Now he's summoned back to the bench. Here's another spin move, but LSU's Reed does a nice job defensively. 15 is the lead, 9 minutes to go in the first half. And the quick release jump shot is in and out, missed by Brown. Return is good. Brown with 7.
The two Tigers right there for the rebound. They let it hit the floor, went right back to Raekwon Brown, who was able to just put it up and in. Basically got a gift there that time from the Tigers. Who couldn't hold on to it.
Wright takes it strong. This is Baker. Misses from the free throw line. Had a lot of time to set up for that one. But a little bit strong off the back iron. A 3-ball from straight away rips the bottom of the net. That one cranked home by Brown. He's got 10 now. He scored the last 5 points for Mississippi Valley, and LSU's going to take a timeout.
And 28-18, another 18 points. 10 have come from that man right there. Raekwon Brown has been attacking the rim, found his way into the paint successfully. That's been a problem for LSU's defense. Both of these teams have scored 10 points each in the paint. Raekwon Brown on the game so far, 4 of 7. He's hit 2 3-pointers for his 10 points.
The big fellow is able to split a couple of defenders down low, and Will Baker now has matched Raekwon Brown's 10-point total. They are the leading scorers in this contest. Mississippi Valley is 8 for 16 from the floor. LSU now 9 of 18. Both teams shooting 50%. 3 3-pointers in 7 tries for LSU. Mississippi Valley is 2 for 4. One of the big differences in this game, Victor, is LSU's free throw shooting. They've converted 9 of 10, and Mississippi Valley is 0 for 2, so the lead is basically at the free throw line.
And when Baker's getting shots like he just had, he's either going to get an easy 2 or you're going to send him to the line.
He's double teamed. Keeps that pivot foot down. Now spins and fires and gets it again.
You know how smart that is, how well trained you are to have to spin twice but not move that pivot foot. It wasn't there the first time. He rotated around and then went back but never lifted the pivot foot, and then he was able to get up there and find the easy shot. That's over and back.
Yeah, it's going to be a backcourt violation. The receiver of the pass had not established position on the offensive side of midcourt.
And that's good defense by LSU. Danny Washington was trying to sprint his way out of the backcourt but wasn't there in time, as the pass caught him coming from the backcourt, so another turnover. LSU has 11 points already off of Mississippi Valley turnovers. Pending more here on this possession.
This is Reed. He goes baseline. Reverse dunk is good. Reed able to power it up and in. The 6'10 sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi. 11 starts in an LSU uniform a year ago. Reed with 6 points now. Pass to the wing is saved by Mississippi Valley. 3-point shot is up and a little bit strong. Hamilton missed it. Tigers on the run. Reed's pass down court easily intercepted by Hamilton. That's the 5th turnover for LSU. Rebound on the offensive end hits the floor, and the little jump hook is good by Hamilton. Mississippi Valley is certainly not watching the action. They trail by 14, but they're not backing down.
Jordan Wright just showing his experience. The years he played, having left Baton Rouge and gone to Vanderbilt, now back in Baton Rouge. He's another one of those that played at Dunham. Such a good player to get to the basket. One of the 1,000-point scorers in Vanderbilt history. 51st member of the 1,000-point club.
He averaged 10.5 points last year with 5 rebounds, did Wright. And made 74 starts at Vanderbilt. There is contact on a foul. And Mississippi Valley, which has not been to the free throw line very often, will have an opportunity here.
That's going to be on Baker, that 7-foot frame, just not able to get his hands up vertical. You see the quick dribble there. You see he comes down on. He tried to jump vertical. He was moving, then he swatted down with his arms and his hands.
He knew it. You could see the grimace on his face. That's his first foul. LSU has 5 team fouls. 7 for Mississippi Valley. Derek Fountain, who played earlier for a while off the bench, has returned for LSU. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Jordan Johnson's second free throw coming. Ernest Minton, a 6'6" senior from Indianola, Mississippi, has come into the game for the Devils. 5:45 to play. Baker wants it low. Baker spinning back, draws a double team and a foul. That's a nifty little move there. Everybody on the court thought he was going to go left with the left hand, and he put on the brakes and came back to the right side.
So he has shown us his ability to hold that pivot foot when he spins 2 or 3 times. He can rotate left, he can rotate right. Watch this time to Lynn's point. He gets the bounce pass. You think he's going one way, spins back the other. That's where the help defense comes over and they draw the foul.
But it was Brown who's giving up 6 inches on that help side, and he was called for the foul.
And now we've seen LSU be able to establish Will Baker on the inside. They're basically going to force the Delta Devils to do 1 or 2 things. You have to double team him, or you're going to watch him have a career night. One or the other. Because his size, they don't have anybody that can match up. So they're going to have to change their defense, double team him, or LSU is going to just feed him until they decide they don't want to do it anymore.
LSU with the steal and right with the one-handed slam. Jordan Wright caught that ball near midcourt and had smooth sailing to the rim. This is the largest lead now, 19 for the Tigers. It's blown up this last few minutes. LSU was up by only 10, Victor, a couple of minutes ago, and now it's nearly double.
Yeah, it's a 12-3 run for LSU since Matt McMahon called that timeout.
It's getting frenetic underneath the bucket, and a shot clock violation has been called, or the ball was out off of Mississippi Valley.
We have seen Jordan Wright do this before in this building. He's just done it in the black and gold of Vanderbilt. And the Commodores had come, and he would always try to step up his game a little more, coming back in front of his family and friends. Great defense and the easy dunk there. And on that last possession, LSU was able to get the steal, but then falling out of bounds. Heads up play by Tyrell Ward, who threw it off the Delta Devils' legs to keep the possession for LSU.
Trey Hannibal, Mike Williams, Jordan Wright, Will Baker, and Derek Fountain are on the floor for LSU. Baker spinning, fading, firing, and travels. He's called for the turnover, but he's got a sweet release, doesn't he, for a 7-footer?
And he has a plethora of moves down there on the block. That time even stepping out a little bit for the fadeaway jump shot.
Baker got his hands on that pass and deflects it out of bounds. LSU by 19, 4.5 to go. First half, first game of the 2023-24 season. By the way, Victor, you know the clock is ticking. I just want to remind you that there are 132 days until Selection Sunday.
You're already going there, huh?
I mean, it's never too early, right? 132 days from today, Selection Sunday.
Be here before you know.
A deep three from straight away, online but long, and a nice offensive rebound pulled off by Mahan, and he was fouled.
And you have to know, when you're taking a three-pointer from that deep, you know the rule in basketball, the long shots lead to long rebounds. That was a perfect example as it clanked off the iron, came all the way back out by the free throw line. The Tigers just not in a position to get the rebound.
LSU defending the inbounds pass and nearly got the 5-second call. 4:18 to go in the first half, 19 on the shot clock. LSU leads by 19. LSU switches on the top defensively. This is Brown, and he angles it in. Brown well up into double figures. He's got 12 now with a variety of shots.
That's the second tough shot we've seen by Raekwon Brown, bodying up and forcing his way in, but getting it off the glass. Now you notice LSU with Will Baker out, and the big size, 7 foot out, 5 wide for LSU outside the lane. Good job there by Trey Hannibal to drive the lane and get the easy layup.
That's the first bucket for Hannibal. Out of Elliott, South Carolina. He, of course, was with McMahon at Murray State. Three ball is off the mark. Big rebound and the outlet pass. That's left a little bit short by Mike Williams. But LSU wasted no time in creating a shot. Let's take a timeout here. 3:12 to go in the first half in the Maravich Center. Game one of the new season. LSU 42, Mississippi Valley State 23.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have
Wildcatters of the old CBA, believe it or not, to get his opportunity to play a little bit.
This is a team that does not play a home game for a long time. It's January 6th. That's the first home game for Mississippi Valley State. It's on a financial tour to fatten the coffers because they've got a lot of guaranteed games all over the country.
Yeah, 13 games on the road before they hit the home court, and I believe it's their second SWAC game of the season before they make their debut in early January. But, you know, it's the nature of the athletics right now for the smaller schools like this, and they're not just driving to Baton Rouge or driving to Rust. They're going all over the country. They got a lot of games spread out everywhere, but the paycheck will help fill the financial coffers as well and help the athletic budget.
Collins drills both free throws for LSU. The lead is 44-23. Shot clock at 6. Step back three. Comes up a little bit short off the hand of Sanders. Deep rebound to the corner, and Mississippi Valley will reset it.
Another indication of a long rebound, but it goes off the foot.
Ward brings it up and throws it away. LSU a little bit sloppy. Back-to-back turnovers and a whistle.
It's 11 turnovers for Valley and 7 now for LSU. So to finish up the thought about the schedule and what Valley is doing, they're starting tonight. They make the easy drive down to Baton Rouge. But next up they're going to play Oklahoma. So they'll go to Norman. Then they're going up to the East Coast. They're going to play UConn. Then they're going to find their way to Fort Worth and face TCU. And that's just getting it started.
Ernest Minton missing. He'll try it again. And misses again. The rebound snared by Derek Fountain. This is Ward leaning over the dribble. Kicks it back to Fountain at the top. Fountain hands it off to Wilkinson. Tigers can't convert. And Mississippi Valley comes the other way. 2 minutes to play in the first half. 44-23 LSU. Brown has had a nice first half. Spins and fires. Misses off the window. Tipped around. And it's still on the floor, and there's a scramble and a whistle finally as players are hitting the deck from everywhere. LSU will put Will Baker back in the game and also Carlos Stewart.
Mississippi Valley really showing some good fight on the offensive end. They have just as many offensive rebounds as defensive rebounds. A little bit of an alert for LSU to pay attention to, that they're fighting so hard on these missed shots to get the rebounds. 10 of 25 from the floor, so 40%. 2 of 8 from deep.
Donovan Sanders will be at the free throw line. He's a Mississippian. And the lefty bags the first one. 5 points for him. Also has 4 rebounds tonight. Baker grabs the miss. The lead is 20 for the Tigers, who have the ball. Baker faked the three, takes a giant step, and lays it in with the left hand.
Oh, and how about the nice up and under, too? So Mississippi Valley, read the scouting report. He can shoot from deep. He hasn't done it tonight, but they challenged the three-pointer. 1 big dribble, 2 big strides, and then a little curl at the end for the layup.
How about this for a debut for Will Baker in an LSU uniform? 16 points in the first half. He'll take the three. 19 points in the first half.
How about that rotation? That'll get a quick timeout from Valley. It's been the Will Baker show tonight. Quite a debut it is in Baton Rouge.
So you get a 2-footer, and then you get a 20-footer from the 7-footer.
He certainly is showing a comfort level so far in game one of McMahon's offense. 22 games I mentioned earlier, 22 games in double digits last season, and his 56% field goal shooting was 8th best in school history.
That's a back and forth violation. Donovan Sanders was straddling the line, but he dribbled it in backcourt.
13 turnovers now for Valley.
A 25-point lead. 68 seconds to go. First half.
And remember, since that timeout for LSU, Tigers have hit 8 of the last 10 from the floor. Valley 1 of the last 7, and no field goals in the last 3 minutes for Mississippi Valley.
This is Baker. Let's see what he does with it here. Baker sets up LSU in a double high post. Now Baker is the single high. He'll take it. Fakes, goes inside.
Yes. Saw that dunk coming. You could see that a mile away. As soon as he pulled that defender up and there was nobody in the lane for help defense, you could see that dunk was on its way. 1 big dribble, 2 big strides.
So Baker with 21.
His career high was 28 against New Mexico last year. That is in big jeopardy.
Brown's having a good night as well. He's got 14. And it'll go to Mississippi Valley with 25 seconds to play.
And Carlos Stewart with the foul, frustrated because of a beautiful bounce pass from Will Baker. He just came up short under the rim, missed the layup, and then tried to go get the loose foul. Go back to Baker again. Look, 1 pump fake and no green jerseys. You could just see that set up a country mile. Look at that reach and the big strides. Of course, players in green jerseys probably saw that and realized that's why I'm not standing down there, because that's coming at me.
Danny Washington will shoot free throws. A 1-and-1 opportunity. Washington has not scored tonight until that free throw.
He started 20 of 29 games last year for Valley, averaged 5 points a game.
This is Williams, the freshman point guard, leaning over the dribble. There's contact and a foul in backcourt, and the foul will be charged against Washington. So 19.7 seconds to go. LSU has led throughout. Free throws coming for Williams. Mike Williams, the heralded freshman from Baltimore.
The number 3 ranked player in Maryland, top 100 in the nation. He averaged 14.5 points a game. He led the National Interscholastic Basketball Conference with 3 steals per game. So good on offense, outstanding on defense.
And there's his 5th point of the first half. Seven seconds to play. And there's a bump in the lane. Williams inadvertently ran into the dribbler. And Williams called for the foul.
You're playing defense. If the offensive player is shoulder to shoulder with you, you're beat.
Yep.
You've got to get that extra step. You have to turn. You can't just shuffle with them. You didn't have to turn, sprint, and run to get in front of them. And that time, Williams just got caught late on the dribble, trying to catch up.
If he's even, he's leaving.
That's exactly right. Great way to put it. Now we'll see what LSU can do with 5 seconds to go. End of half. Something they were working on. They were walking through it.
Yep.
Really touching base on everything. In 5 seconds, let's see if he makes this, get it on the inbounds, and how they can get it down the floor.
Coming up at halftime, an SEC basketball report with Dari Noka. So stay tuned for it. 3 ball up and 3 ball in. A high scorching teardrop 3-ball by Tyrell Ward. And that ends the first half. Ward from distance knocks it down, and LSU has scored 56 in the first 20 minutes. We started this in let me figure this out, 2003.
We have had, we have seen some things. We've had a lot of games, a lot of fun experiences. This one's just adding to it.
And there'll be 5 more on the SEC Network Plus here from this arena. And, of course, every LSU basketball game this year, men and women, will be available on one of the platforms. Mississippi Valley in green, LSU in white as we get things restarted here in the second half. By the way, things are not going well for the LSU Tigers out in Las Vegas on the women's side. The defending national champions are down in the third quarter.
Heavy is the crown of the champion. They're out there against Colorado, number 20. 2 minutes to go, under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. LSU is trailing.
63-51, the last score I had. That's a nice pass down low and a foul called.
Back-to-back fouls here to start the second half on Jalen Reed. Got one trailing his man on the baseline earlier. Than that time, he just bites on the fake, gets caught in the air. You see him come over, help side, but he hits the fake, and then there's nothing you can do about that until you come down. It's a nice job of drawing the foul. Got to stay on that floor.
Rico Gibson at the free throw line. A 6'7" senior from Memphis. That's thrown away, but Baker is able to save it in front of his own bench after a teammate did the splits underneath the rim.
Yeah, that teammate is the man who has the ball right now. Jordan Wright driving the lane, good up and under. Lost control, did Wright early on, lost the ball. Baker saves it, then Wright's able to work his way down the lane for the easy 2.
6 for Wright. LSU takes it away. 2-on-1 break. Stewart scoops it up, misses, but there is a whistle. And the Tigers are trying to convert these turnovers into points and have done a pretty good job of it so far. Stewart will have an opportunity at the free throw line.
That time a double Tiger connection. Jordan Wright to Carlos Stewart as an LSU Tiger, and both former Dunham Tigers that time. Boy, Carlos Stewart. That young man, when he was at Dunham, I was telling you this shooter, if he hasn't put on 25, 30 pounds, he hasn't gained an ounce. He was very slender, quick as lightning, could get to the rim. Spent a couple of seasons where he had outstanding seasons out at Santa Clara. First team all West Coast Conference player last year at Santa Clara. But he has bulked up, looks great, still has that quick speed, and just excited for him. I know he's excited to get back home from where he played his high school ball and come back now and wear an LSU jersey. Matt McMahon mentioned to us earlier that when he came down for a visit, it was almost like his first time. He never really had a look from LSU. Decided to go out west to Santa Clara, but now he's come back, and he said the smile was from ear to ear when he came in and put on that LSU jersey.
Well, he had 24 double-figure scoring games last year, and 10 times he scored at least 20. So he was a point producer at 15-plus per game was Carlos Stewart.
Yeah, and how about leading the conference in steals? Better than 2 a game.
LSU by 29. Baker got a hand on it. That's his first block tonight. Reverse layup on the drive. Won't go by Williams.
Just not enough spin. He tried with a bad angle, tried to get it in there with a little English. Just not enough to get up and over the rim.
This ball is on the floor. And Baker is able to come off with the ball. Let's see if Baker takes it. He does. Bam! Oh, my! That's a 7-footer. That's the second time he has backed up and stroked it from distance. 24 for Baker. Nice pull-up jump shot over Baker, but it would not go by Brown. Brown was the leading scorer in the first half for Mississippi Valley with 14. Here's a three from straight away. Well off the mark to the left side, missed by Williams.
Sorry, I was looking for the defender's name because Baker realized he wasn't going to get out there to guard him. The problem was he's wearing 25, and I can't find 25 on the roster. I'm looking on the official score. I don't see a 25. Let's just say the big man. How about that?
Yep. And there is an injured Mississippi Valley player, but he's going to get up and is smiling, and at least that's good news. That is Ernest Minton, who took a fall. We're making the correction on our score sheets as we go. We think Daniel Umo is now 25. He was listed as 35.
And that's why I couldn't find him. But seeing him stand next to Baker,
yep,
and they've got Umo at 6'9", 245, that's Umo. We'll go with that.
How about Jordan Wright knocking it down from three-point range in front of his own bench? A wing three. 9 for him. Good fight by Fountain down low, but he was outnumbered 3-1, trying to get that rebound.
That was a good job by Gibson there to stay airborne. He drew the foul on Will Baker. He had to extend his launch there as Baker's 7-foot frame was coming at him, but did a nice job of elevating to the point where he could draw the foul.
That's the second. Rico Gibson shoots that knuckleball free throw.
How about that? A one-handed knuckle, you know how tough that is?
Yeah.
Without any kind of follow-through?
Yeah.
You don't see that quite often.
Let's see if there's any rotation on this shot. Not much. Doesn't matter what it looks like in the air as long as it finds the bottom of the net.
That's exactly right.
Fountain down to Baker. Spins, left hand, no, another one.
Valley didn't make any sort of adjustment of what they're either going to a zone defense or double teaming Baker. And again, you do that, he'll cruise past his career high of 28 that he set against New Mexico 1 year ago.
He's only 2 points away from it right now. 26 for Baker.
Yeah, they just don't have anybody that's going to match up one-on-one with him. The best they're going to do is try to put Daniel Umo down there. But Baker's going to be quicker than Umo is. And anybody else, he just has a size advantage and a power advantage.
67-32. Baker has 26 of those 67. A backup three won't go by Wright. A little flat on the iron. And well done down the lane.
That's been the one consistent star for Valley tonight to debut for the season, Raekwon Brown.
That's his first bucket of the second half. He had 14 in the first half, and a distance three tossed home by Jordan Wright. 12 for him. LSU with 3 in double figures tonight, led by Baker's 26. And we'll take a timeout right here with 15:36 remaining in the second half. We're in Baton Rouge, where LSU is leading Mississippi Valley 70-34.
Oh, they've got 3 or 4 guys that have Louisiana ties on that roster. Remember last year, they just had to fill the roster. They had no choice. But this year they had choices, and they said, yes, it was by design that they went and got guys that have experience and leadership that they can bring to this team, but also that Louisiana value, Jordan Wright being one of them. Oh, my.
That is the big left-hander again. Will Baker, 28 points. That matches his career high.
What a way to do it. Boy, does he cover some real estate with those 2 steps.
It has been a Will Baker show with 28 in the first 25 minutes. Ward, Baker, fakes the 3, gets it to a teammate who's nearly clotheslined, and a foul with Trey Hannibal taking it to the rim.
Here it is with Baker as he gets past his defender who looked like he slipped, was Walden. And once again, he picks up that dribble, those 2 giant steps, and then that long wingspan gets him up over the rim so high. And you look at his line, Lynn, he's only missed 1 shot.
Yep.
10 of 11 from the floor. He's hit both his 3-pointers and hit all 6 of his free throws.
Near perfection for Baker offensively. He wants it in the post. Now he'll back out and hand it back off.
And he sat 7 minutes in the first half.
Let's get a shot right now of the shot clock if we can. It's got 3.9 seconds. Well, they just changed it. Bad timing on my part, but this year, when the shot clock gets to 5, it then starts going to 4.9, 4.8, 4.7, etc.
Much like the game clock does when it's under a minute. Now the shot clock will
Baker missed that one.
To your point, the game clock goes to tenths of a second under a minute. Now the shot clock will do it when it hits the 5. Baker can set a new career high at the free throw line, which I would expect he would when you see that he's perfect from the line tonight.
This is a 7-footer. Left-hander crouches, and it rattles out.
I'll take the hit on that one.
That's his first miss at the free throw line. And only the second miss in the game from anywhere. There you have it, a new career high for Will Baker. 29 points. That's the most he's ever scored in a collegiate game. And the 29 come in this debut here in the Maravich Center. And he goes to the bench for a while. Fountain clears the rebound for LSU.
Saw how high Damian Collins got up there trying to defend that shot. It changed the way that shot went up, knowing that big number 10 at 6'9" was going to elevate.
Now let's see how the Tigers operate without Baker. Fountain on the give and go. 3-ball left side. Collins rattles it home.
Well, the one consistent we saw from LSU earlier when Baker was sitting during those 7 minutes of the first half is without that big inside presence, they went 5 wide, which allows you the opportunity to drive the lane and kick out like you saw right there for the 3.
7 points for Collins after the tray. Hamilton, and it's out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Devils with 7 on the shot clock.
Nice block, though, by Derek Fountain.
Indeed it was.
There's Mwani Wilkinson coming back into the game. Good to see a healthy Mwani Wilkinson.
Oh, yes. He had a lot of shoulder problems last year, played less than half the season.
He had 9 starts in 12 games before going out. And I think a lot of shoulder issues. Oh, bank that in. I think a lot of shoulder issues is an understatement. I don't think we all know just how much pain he was in the issues before they finally had to sit him.
That last 3-ball by Sanders as he banked it home. Mississippi Valley trying to get a run-out basket, but it's out of bounds on the other end.
That's good effort. Great effort down big to see him go for a play like that. Sanders, certainly give him credit.
He's limping a little bit, but apparently will stay in the game. Sanders now leaning over defensively. Fountain at the top. Hannibal. Collins thought about taking the 3. And there is a 3-ball. Banged home by Wilkinson now. Again, in shoot-around today, we saw him rarely miss. We saw him shoot at least 20 times, and he must have hit 16 or 17.
Yeah, he was Talked to some of the coaches. They said one of the big things for him, because of that shoulder injury, said especially with the mini trip they took in the offseason and then in the exhibition game, was for him seeing some of those shots go down, that confidence factor coming back, not having to worry about the injury and finding that confidence to shoot. Sure did look good on that shot, and he definitely looked good during the shoot-around. He wasn't just hitting from one side, he was hitting from all sides.
79-37, LSU prevailing.
It's coming to us. Save.
Twelve and a half to play. Hannibal gambling out front. Couldn't make the steal, but the shot clock is down to 7. Pull-up jump shot is no good. Hannibal fighting for the rebound. It hits the floor. Collins picks it up. Collins fakes the 3, puts it on the floor. One giant step and lays it in on the left side.
Yeah, give him credit for keeping that balance, too, because he took an awkward step. Another foot. He might have gotten called for the travel, so he kept his balance and was able to change hands and put it up and in.
9 for Collins. LSU 81. Mississippi Valley State 37. You know, Victor, as we look around the SEC at the start of the season, and we'll pick up that story in just a moment, we've got a timeout as LSU is leading by a huge margin, 81-37, 11:44 to go. And that Charleston Classic also available on ESPN2.
And shortly after that, they'll have a game where they're going to be at Syracuse. You said they're at Syracuse. They also have Kansas State. Part of the conference matchup, big conference matchup. That'll be a big game in early December.
Wilkinson finds the bottom of the net again from distance.
Still hitting.
And Hunter Dean has entered the lineup during the timeout, a 6'10 graduate student from Mandeville. His previous stop was at George Washington.
We talked about the shooting that Baker had when he was at Nevada. How about Hunter Dean? He shot 64% last season at George Washington. That was the 4th best in George Washington history.
That rolls off the tongue rather easily, but 64% from the field is phenomenal. He'll back in, spin, put it up. He was fouled by Walter Hamilton. All of the SEC teams tonight are winning handily, with the exception of Georgia. Georgia was beaten by Oregon 82-71, but that's going to be apparently the only SEC team with a loss after tonight. Georgia knocked off by Oregon 82-71. And speaking of scores, as we go to the women's side, LSU is losing by 20.
Yeah, LSU fans aren't going to hear that one. It has been all Colorado tonight. Very physical against the preseason number one team in the country. They took it to LSU tonight.
The lead has been cut to 15, but there's not a whole lot of time left in the 4th quarter. 88-73, the latest score. That's a lot of points given up by the Tigers. That's on the women's side of things in Las Vegas. LSU's women will return here on Thursday to meet Queens College. We'll have it for you right here on the SEC ESPN network.
And this will be a tough loss for LSU to swallow. We're going to Vegas and facing a top 20 team, but it will be a special night Thursday night here when they come to the Maravich Assembly Center and drop that banner.
Every season ticket has been sold for LSU women's basketball. A foul will put Collins at the free throw line after he was bumped trying to dunk. 10.5 to go, 84-37.
Collins has a lot of raw athleticism too.
You know, I don't know if we'll ever see it, but it would be interesting to see Collins at 6'9", Dean at 6'10", and Baker at 7 feet in the lineup at the same time.
Well, give you 2 power players. Gives you a lot of length with all 3. Give you 2 players that can step outside. I don't see why you would. Now, when LSU wants to play more speed, you might not, but that certainly would be an interesting threesome down there on the bottom with that size.
Collins has a long reach, doesn't he?
Well, he had a stop at Kentucky where he averaged maybe 2 points a game. He just didn't really get an opportunity. But this was a consensus 5-star player out of high school that averaged better than 35 points a game.
Number 10 in white for LSU, Collins. He is defending now. They swing it to the left side for a 3-ball. Collins jumped too early. That one went right over his shoulder.
Right over him. There's nobody behind him. Good hands there for the steal by Milwaukee Wilkinson.
Stewart fakes left, dribbles right, takes it strong, hangs in the air, shoots, no good. Dean battling for it, and it's taken instead in the corner.
Look, he missed
by
that.
Hamilton.
He missed that shot, but I'm telling you, in his high school days, that's what he was known for, Carlos Stewart. The quick dribble, the crossover, getting to the front of the rim. That time he just happened to miss. And Wilkinson with the emphatic block on the other end, but the foul was called.
LSU will make a substitution. Jalen Reed, the 6'10 sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi, will check in at the next available opportunity. There he is. Danny Washington misses the first one. Mississippi Valley's been stuck in the 30s for a while. Collins is relieved by Reed.
LSU really turned up the pressure and the pace in this ball game. A 19-3 run for LSU over the last 6 minutes.
And there was illegal entry into the lane before the shot, so this is going to be another opportunity for Danny Washington, a 6-foot senior from Greenville, Mississippi. That's up in the Delta. (86-38). A bucket here would give LSU a 50-point lead. And it may come at the free throw line.
I was wondering on that pass if Wright was looking for Reed to go up for the alley-oop. He had the open lane. He just waited on that pass. Might have been able to elevate, but either way, draw the foul and go to the line.
Reed has 6 tonight, 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. This for a 50-point lead. It's 49. Back to the SEC for a moment. Victor, a nation-leading 5 teams are ranked in the Associated Press preseason poll from the SEC. Tennessee number 9, Arkansas 14, Texas A&M 15, Kentucky 16, and Alabama 24. That's the most teams in the preseason top 25 from any league in the country.
A lot of high expectations coming from the conference this year with Tennessee leading the way. And I think there's 3 or 4 other teams right behind them that were getting votes that's just outside the top 25.
Yeah, Auburn, Mississippi State, Missouri, and Florida as well, getting some votes. That's good by Rico Gibson. 4 coaches in the SEC rank among the winningest active coaches in the country. John Calipari is 4th. Rick Barnes is 6th. Bruce Pearl is 15th. And Kermit Davis is 29th. That's a familiar name around here.
Absolutely, sure enough.
Well, if you've just joined us, the big story of the night offensively for the Tigers, Will Baker. He may not play anymore. He's been on the bench for 4 or 5 minutes, but Will Baker, 29 points tonight in his debut. Just a couple of misses from the floor and the free throw line. And that 29 points represents a career high for him. I don't know how he could have been much better in his first game in an LSU uniform.
No, I think the staff knew as well what that career mark was, because when he hit it on the free throw line, they took him out, and you won't see him again tonight. But there he is, and if you missed it, catch him early next time, because he's a fun player to watch. all sorts of moves around the baseline. He showed his range with the three-pointer. To your point about his numbers, 10 of 11 from the floor, 7 of 8 from the line, hit both of his three-pointers, 5 rebounds, and an assist. And he sat out 7 minutes of the first half, and he's going to sit out the final 12 of this half. Yo.
Still nearly 9 minutes to go in the second half. A 3-ball up from the right side, and it's down at the bottom of the twine by George Ivory III. He's out of Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, he played at Arkansas Pine Bluff, somebody that George Ivory's familiar with when he was head coach, came to Valley with him.
Wilkinson from deep, on line but long, off the iron.
Travel. Oh, it's got the jump ball.
Possession arrow favors LSU. LSU lost it, but it's going to stay with the Tigers. LSU had 9 players in the NBA when the season started this year. 9 players over the course of 6 teams. And the SEC with a whole lot of representation in the NBA. 92 players from SEC schools. And he's been on the bench for a while. Wright and Ward with 12 and 11 respectively. And if you're an LSU women's basketball fan, bad news from Las Vegas. Colorado, 92. LSU, 78. The Tigers led 16-14 at the end of the first quarter, but then were outscored 24-16 in the second quarter. And Colorado really put it on LSU, the defending national champion, and won it 92-78.
Kim Mulkey is not one that takes to losing lightly, but I can just imagine at halftime, after giving up 24 in the second quarter, she probably tried to light a fire, and her post game might be very simple. She can walk in and say, well, so much for all the hype about being number one and the easy road back to a national championship, time to get to work. And she'll just put it to bed, and they'll learn their lesson. They'll come home and get ready for Thursday night when they drop the banner, and I promise you that'll be the last time they start looking back. They'll remember it with the banner drop. It'll be an emotional night and a fun night for everybody here, and after that, it'll be all business.
Congratulations to the LSU Tigers soccer team, which has made the NCAA tournament. And will take on Memphis in a first-round game in the Arkansas Regionals. That looked a bit awkward, but no whistle. Nice snap pass. Tigers converging on it. Reed kind of took a swipe at it. Somehow the LSU Tigers come the other way. Stewart kicks it right side. 3-ball, a little bit short.
And LSU starting to show that length you were talking about earlier in the ball game with their size. Maybe not all the bulk, but look at the rebounds. Look how they're just elevating over all the players up high to get the rebound.
It looked like a bag of snakes in that lane.
Long and lean. Derek Fountain eventually going up, called out of bounds with the ball in possession of 4 opportunities for LSU.
How about this? That was the first turnover for LSU in this half. That's hard to believe.
That's a great stat. Great efficiency to see that number. I was just looking during the last time out. Mississippi Valley has had 2. Now look, they've struggled all night long. Their one star has been Raekwon Brown, who's the only player in double digits, but 2 paint points in the entire second half for Valley.
And speaking of turnovers, only 8 in the game for the Tigers, 7 of them coming in the first half. 7 minutes to go. Shot clock at 7. Foul called on Fountain. That's his first foul. Team foul number 8. 1-and-1 coming for Rico Gibson. He's from Memphis. That three tossed in by Stewart. Carlos Stewart.
The second bucket of the game. Second three-pointer of the game.
He comes to LSU with a reputation as a scorer. Not so much tonight, but he's a guy with great offensive potential.
He shot 40% from behind the line out at Santa Clara.
Wilkinson passes up a three. This is Wilkinson at the top. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Wilkinson takes the handoff and an offensive foul, perhaps an illegal pick.
That's exactly what it was. Fountain had the ball. He tossed it behind Wilkinson, but once he did to give it behind him, he went in to try to set a screen, but he just kept moving, clearing out a path, and that's what they call the offensive foul.
So the lead is 90-43. It's pretty certain LSU is going to get to the century mark in the first game. 6 minutes to go, 10 points to do it. Reed clears the rebound.
LSU set to win its 10th straight season opener.
Three ball from the wing. Yes! Carlos Stewart, 10 points for him. He's the fourth in double figures now for LSU. Do we have 5? Who did I miss?
Ward's got 11. Collins has 11. Baker with the game high 29. Wright with 12. And
Stewart with 10.
With Stewart.
So 5 players in double digits in the scoring column for LSU.
I'm wondering if they called that a 2. Officially, they're showing it at 9. They might have called him, but they might have given him a 2-pointer.
That is going to count. It just beat the shot clock. Rico Gibson flails it in. How about that wide open pass? Can you get any more open than Fountain was at the rim?
That's just a team that's just tired. Nobody in green paying attention to him, just ready for the clock to wind down. Good eyes though for LSU. You keep playing. Nice job of just looking underneath for the easy layup.
95-46. Let's go back and look at Gibson beat the buzzer.
See the clock up there on the right-hand side. There he is spinning, and yeah, 0.3 of a second floating away in front of his own bench. He makes 2 in double digits now for Valley, as he has 10 on 2 of 4 shooting, but 5 of 7 from the line.
And here's the other guy in double digits at the free throw line, Raekwon Brown. He was particularly good in the first half. He's been held to just 3 points in the second half, but he's got 17 tonight. Mississippi Valley will make some substitutions here. Daniel Umo is in the game.
And for those of you scoring at home, he's now 25, not 35 like I had.
So did I.
Trust me.
So did everybody.
It'll take a while trying to find that one. As I say, LSU's free throw shooting right now 21 of 30 for 70%, but 12 three-pointers made tonight for LSU. Last year they had 7 games with double-digit made three-pointers, so they start out this season game 1 with 12 made, still 4:27 to go.
Hunter Dean will get some free throws. Looking for his first points in an LSU uniform. 0 for 4 is Hunter Dean at the free throw line tonight. He's been in the game since Will Baker was recalled to the bench. That's Dean's first point, and you can see the smile on his face.
You know he's got family and friends that made their way over from Mandeville with the cheering that they gave him. Thus the reason for the big smile. He averaged 8.7 points per game, and we told you earlier his 64% field goal shooting was 4th best in school history at GW.
Well, the coaches were telling us that he's got some parts about his game that are impressive for a big guy, and they like his potential. He's not going to be an instant star, but they think he can really contribute and be part of this LSU success this year.
I said he's very athletic for his size. He's great off the screen, but they also talk about how he's a very smart defender. That's great to have at 6'10". As you were to your point earlier, you talked about having certain players in the lineup where you could have a 7-footer, a 6'10", and a 6'9". You've got that kind of size, but you have quick feet and smart. Huge advantage. You'll see him on the floor just because of that.
There's another 6'10" available at Jalen Reed as well. Let's take a timeout right here, shall we? 3 minutes and 52 seconds to go. LSU 97. And the opponent, 47.
Little Caesar's stuffed crazy bread is just $3.49. Order on.
This is Lehman.
And talk about what you've seen that may be a little different from last year's team, and where the potential may lie after a very small window to make observations. But nonetheless, we start with nearly 40 minutes of basketball in the books, and LSU with some a lot of points tonight.
Well, I go back to what we talked about with Coach McMahon this afternoon. We said, look, you had a lot of success last year, right, before you got to conference.
Yeah, only one loss in non-conference play.
Then you win your conference opener, and then things went south. But it was the sense of team and the players together, where, again, last year they had to throw bodies together to field the roster. What's been interesting tonight is just to watch these guys, because when you talk to the coaches, all of the staff said they really like this team, what they're developing with the guys they brought in. You notice they haven't really emptied the bench. They're about to start getting a few other players in, but they want to see how these guys have worked together. And I thought that first unit played very, very well. We've seen their ability to stretch the floor, but they've also been aggressive going to the basket. That's going to be a goaltend there. So it'll be fun to watch them over the next couple weeks as they get in here. Nichols on Friday, then they go to that tournament for a couple of games, but just to see how these guys develop, since these are more of the players that this coaching staff has targeted and want to fit into this system.
Adam Benayoun has checked in. He wears number 25. Benayoun on the right wing in front of the LSU bench. He's got it now. He'll take a three. And he's got it. That's the way you do it. You sit on the bench the whole game. You come out. You establish offensive position in front of your bench. You get a pass. You knock it down. You've been in the game 4 seconds, and you're in the scoring column.
That's right. You hold up that follow through as well, and the team loved it. Set up on the right wing. Just pass it around. Valley's decided now they want to go to a zone defense. Look at him wide open. You see the bench ready for it and celebrating with them. That's a fun way to start the season, and knowing that your bucket put your team over the century mark, back to the 100.
It goes from 99 to 102. Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you just love it? Collins clears the rebound. Traveling called against the Tigers. Turnovers have not been a problem tonight. That's only 11 and only 4 in the second half. LSU has doubled up the Delta Devils, 102 to 51. Nicely done, high off the window and kissed home by Donovan Sanders.
Especially when you had Hunter Dean right there in front of you, elevating, forcing you to go up and over his long reach.
Sanders has 13 now. By the way, that three ball just tossed in by Adam Benayoun is he's a walk-on junior. So it's a big moment when a walk-on can get in the game and quickly score.
Absolutely. He played one game last year, had a chance for 2 games in his freshman season.
That one crawls over. bucket by Rico Gibson. That's a 12 for him now. Less than a minute and a half remains. This is Dean at the free throw line. Now Hannibal. Benayoun fires again. This time he misses. Dean, good offensive rebound, and he's fouled in traffic after he did an outstanding job of pulling off the miss. So free throws coming for Hunter Dean. That's a great rebound, one-handed with the left hand.
Well, and he had a great job of blocking out, too. Had great position to get that. Try to hit this one after hitting his last two.
So he's 2 for 7 right now.
There it is.
.70 seconds to play.
Good opening win, as you said, Lynn. The outcome was never really in question. The key will be what will LSU take with that. A nice shot up there on the inside, powering one in.
Yeah, that's Umo.
What does LSU take from it now? You know, the big thing, second half's gotten a little sloppy. LSU has certainly shown its athletic dominance in putting this game away. But now they go back to work for a couple of days before Nichols rolls into town, and then they hit the road for a couple of games. So, you know, Matt McMahon will be happy with the win, certainly. But the more important thing will be what the team takes away from it as they're trying to build this new identity. As we mentioned, he's kind of looking at this as year one.
How about the walk-on, though? Another three-pointer. Benayoun has come off the bench and stroked 2 threes. (106-57) as we are seconds away from closing it out. How about that? Rico Gibson again. That's 14 for him. LSU can dribble it out. 15 seconds to play. 106-60 is the score, and that's going to be the final score. So the LSU Tigers in game 1 of the new college basketball season go wire to wire with a 106-60 victory over Mississippi Valley State's Delta Devils. If you